Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tony Needs Hobbies. My name is Tony.
And I am Martin. You may have heard of Gouda, a cheese from the Netherlands.
We're both Dutch guys, so in this video we're going to show you how to make some awesome cheese. The milk is already heating up on the stove, so let's get on with it.
Have fun watching!
It has been a while since the last video, so I tried to make this one extra fun by hiding a few cheese puns in the voiceover for some Gouda laughs. Let me know in the comments which puns you found and win a thumbs up. The milk we are going to use today is a pasteurized fresh milk. It is not sterilized and also not raw milk. I have access to raw milk straight from the cow. Using that would result in the best tasting cheese. However, to make cheese from it, you need to pasteurize it first and take some other precautions to prevent E. coli contamination. Since it is our first time making cheese, we decided to take the safe route and use professionally pasteurized milk. We are using 10 liters of milk and let all of it slowly heat up until it reaches 30 degrees Celsius. Then we add the cheese starter culture, a mix of lactic acid bacteria dissolved in milk overnight. This starter culture aids in the coagulation of milk proteins, and the specific culture we use also gives the cheese its Gouda resembling taste. By the way, the name Gouda or Gouda is the name of the village in the Netherlands where this cheese is made. I am not based in Gouda, so we cannot officially call it Gouda cheese. So we have just added the cheese starter. Now it has to sit for about 45 minutes at 30 degrees before we can continue with the next step. In those 45 minutes, we will also sterilize cheesecloth in boiling water. We need this later on in the process to press the two little wheels of cheese in their molds.
For the next step, we're first going to add 1.5 milliliters of calcium chloride solution to strengthen the proteins in the milk. Then we're going to add 2.5 milliliters of rennet to separate the solids from the liquids. And then we're going to give it a little stir.
After 10 minutes we test to see if the rennet has done its job clotting the milk. When cutting it with a knife and moving the knife to one side, the milk should split up, letting a clear liquid, the whey, seeping into the cavity. It doesn't get any chatter than this, so we can start cutting the curds. We cut in all directions, first from top to bottom, with a distance of approximately 1 centimeter in between the cuts. Then we cut it from left to right to form long cubes. After that we cut again from left to right, but now at a 45-degree angle, before cutting another time from bottom to top, again at a 45-degree angle. The goal is to allow the whey to seep out of the jello-like substance so we can separate the cheese curds from the whey. It's a whole lot of cutting and our muscles are getting sore from it. But hey, that's not your problem. You just have to enjoy watching other people work.
Who cut the cheese?
We cut the cheese, the curds that is. They have been standing for 10 minutes now, so it's time to wash them with the warm water. Let's take a look inside the pot. Before washing, we scoop off most of the whey, the clear yellowy liquid on top of the curds that sunk to the bottom of the pot. It's easy to use a sieve for this to not risk transferring curds out of it. We take away roughly 1/3 of the total volume before we continue with washing the curds. For washing, we use water that has been heated to 65 degrees Celsius. The goal is twofold: heating up the curds to 33 degrees and taking away some of the acidity of the cheese, resulting in a more balanced taste in the end. Washing takes 10 minutes, after which we transfer the whey, roughly half of the total volume, to a sanitized bucket. This can be used for making real ricotta cheese. Then we repeat the washing process once more to get the temperature of the curds up to 36 degrees Celsius. I later found out that washing 2 times isn't necessary for small cheeses apparently, but we didn't know since we do this for the first time. And again, stir for 10 minutes or until you're fed up with it. Then let the curds ripen at the final temperature for 30 minutes. With a sieve I scoop out the curds, and using my hands I press them into a mold lined with a previously sterilized cheesecloth. These molds are filled until there's a decent quantity sticking out of the top, which will be pressed down into the mold later on by putting some 2 kilogram dumbbell weights on top of the molds. After I'm done, Martin gives it a go too. Then we put the weights on top and we wait it an hour before moving on. After that hour, we had to take the young cheeses out of their molds to turn them upside down back into the mold. The initial pressing is to get most of the whey out. For the second pressing we added more weight, 4 kilograms per cheese in total, to press the cheeses evenly into their definitive shape overnight in about 8 hours. For brining, which is the next step, we dissolve 2 kilograms of table salt in water to a total volume of 10 liters. Be sure to use salt with no added iodine, as this may kill the lactic acid bacteria that will give the cheese part of its characteristic taste. These cheeses were brined for 8 hours, flipping both of them every 2 hours or so. In order for the coating to stick, the outside of the cheese has to be dry, so we put it in a cool and dark closet for about a day or until the outside is dry to the touch. Many cheese producing countries might use wax or leave the cheeses uncoated to get infections on purpose. In the Netherlands, cheese wheels are normally coated with cheese lacquer, which is an acrylic coating to prevent too much moisture to evaporate from the cheese that also has antifungal properties. This has 2 reasons. The cheese will keep its weight over time, which is important for economic reasons, and it will survive longer in the cheese caves while developing their taste. Initially, I tried to do this with a sponge, because the professionals do it like that. I didn't have a lot of success with this method, so I switched to using a brush, which worked much better. It takes a few hours for each layer to dry, but it looks more and more like a Dutch cheese with every layer. And when the final layer is applied, they go back in the cool closet to age for 3 weeks. Then the moment is there. Time to see if it was all worth it and finally taste the cheese. And damn, they're looking fine. If you don't think so, let's agree to disagree.
I hope this video was not too cheesy.
Anyway, we hope you have enjoyed watching it. And if you did, then let us know by hitting that like button. Please also consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this in the future. That's it for now. We would like to thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Ja. Oké.
Oh, zijn we begonnen? Cheese. Leuk.